As if 2020 wasn't bad enough. Look at these stats. 72% of you guys are unsubscribed. Alright, but in all seriousness, that is quite a huge portion of you guys. Including the fact that if I have around 40 viewers per video, 72% of those 42 viewers are not subscribed. And also, I'm a small channel, so the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me too much. It'd be so much appreciated if you guys could subscribe. Please and thank you. Also, here are my stats in 2019. As you can see, 1.6k views, 39.5 watch hours, and 44 subscribers in the past month. So these are some really good stats, concluding that back then I was at like 40, and I think I blasted up to like 80 or something like that. But yeah, now moving on to my 2020 stats. We have 6.9k views, 167.5 watch hours, though 43 subscribers. So it'd be cool if we get to 45 subscribers for the end of this year. And also, if you guys could watch at the end of the video, or at least watch a bigger portion of the video if you guys could, for watch hours. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can push through the YouTube algorithm and actually get recommended. Thank you, bye.
Hey guys, it's me, Galactides, and today we're just doing a quick little video on how to get better at Phantom Forces in general. And not just Phantom Forces, these tips can help you in other games. And also, shout out to Dr. Rooster and my boy Suppress Cat for giving me some clips here. So, links will be in the description below. Please subscribe to them. Pretty funny, guys. So yeah, now, moving on to the first tip. So we have movement in Phantom Forces. If you didn't know, movement is in this game, because you can't stand still. Yeah. But anyways, so what you can do is you can sprint, obviously, and you can also slide by sprinting and pressing C. And if you sprint and press C twice, you can do this like power slide type thing where you just move faster. So quick little tip for that is you just sprint and press C twice every time, then you get right back up, and then you do that again. Good little speed boost thing to help you guys. And other things are like mantling. Mantling, you just mantle over objects and stuff like that, and that gives you quite a bit of a speed boost. Also, if you sprint and press X, you can dolphin dive, or if you want to dolphin dive even higher, you sprint, jump, and press X. Don't know how it works, but you can dolphin dive in midair. Anyways, moving on to primary weapon choice. There are many primary weapons and many primary weapon classes. So for example, there's assault rifles, battle rifles, SMGs or PDWs, snipers, DMRs, carbines, shotguns, and LMGs. Now, a quick little description of most of these is ARs are just an overall solid weapon. They have good speed, good accuracy, and good damage output just all in one. So they're like your standard good baseline weapon. Then there are battle rifles. They have great damage and accuracy, but have lots of recoil and less ammo capacity, and normally have slower fire rates, other than the Beowulf, because that thing is fast as shit. And those guns use a lot of skill, if you know how to control recoil at least. Now, PDWs and SMGs are normally weak, damaging, but fast weaponry. So they have a really fast and high DPS, and a low armor penetration stat. Armor penetration stat is the amount that a bullet can go through a wall, or if a bullet can go through a wall or not. Yeah, quick tip. And there are many guns in the PDW section that don't actually play like SMGs, but play more like ARs, like the M3A1 and L2A3, and also the AUG-A3 Para. But they're PDWs because real life stuff. Anyways, snipers are self-explanatory. Nothing needs to be explained there. Like, scope, zoom, shoot, bolt the gun back. Okay, nothing too much there. Then there are DMRs. DMRs are just semi-auto weapons. They normally hit for a lot, have lots of accuracy. They have some recoil depending on what gun. Normally have quite a bit of recoil, but they don't one-shot. But they play sort of like a sniper. Then there are carbines, which are literally just ARs, but they're all like really different. Like the M4A1 is a carbine, and like there's this thing called like HK21B, which is just the HK21 but like compactified. I don't know if that's a word, but it's just like a tiny HK21. So you just have to experiment around with carbines because they're all just really different. Then there are shotguns. Those are self-explanatory. You just shoot, cock it back, done. Noobs use those guns, and you probably shouldn't be using them because you will be spammed in chat for using a shotgun. And I will do the same if I ever meet you. Then LMGs, please don't use them. They're just for losers, man. They like everything there. It's got everything you need good in a gun, right? And they're just so boring. You just have like 200 rounds, almost no recoil. And even if they have a lot of recoil in the beginning, once you put like a compensator or a muzzle brake, no recoil at all. You just pull straight down, you're good. and they just have everything good. So it's just a boring weapon, and like it requires no skill, and like people are just gonna be like, oh, LMG user, time to leave the server. Like, just don't be one of those, please. Anyways, another tip is for weaponry is just don't use a weapon you unlock instantly. Like, for example, this is just like an example, this is not true, but if you have a weapon, like let's say you have the FAMAS and you unlock the M4A1 next, well, the FAMAS is better in general. Like some people might say the M4A1 is better, but that's fine. Guns are all personal preference in this game, to be honest with you, but in general, statistics wise, the FAMAS is better. It's got about the same damage, more fire rate, about the same recoil, and they don't have a lot of recoil, and they're just really good weapons, but the FAMAS is better. So don't just get a weapon you instantly unlock, because your previous one might be better. So like some good examples of this is like if you have an AUG A1 or like a FAMAS or an M16A3 or a Remington 700, doesn't mean they're bad because they're low level. Like, just keep them.
But I swear to fucking God, if I see one of you use the Colt LMG or M16 Newbie, I will fucking personally come to your house and shove my fat fucking crotch.
Alright, I think we should stop there. So also, don't let people judge what weapon you use for you. The only time I'll let someone judge you is if you have a shotgun or an LMG. The only shotgun I will allow you to use is the KS-23M with slugs. You can use that. Or a Serbu Shorty. That's legal. Any other gun, KSG, fine. Use the KSG, just don't be a tryhard with it. And also, so some examples of some good weapons are like the L2A3, M3A1, M1911. Most people say they're like garbage because they might have something bad about them or people don't like them, but they're pretty good weapons. Like the M31's got a high damage stat, though it's really slow. It's a good weapon. M1911, 7 rounds, high damage, but doesn't have a lot of ammo. Then you have the L2A3, it's just an overall good weapon. I don't know why people dislike it, it's pretty good. That's all I got for primary weapon choice. Moving on to secondary weapon choice. Now, secondaries are way more powerful than you think. It's usually faster than reloading, especially if you're like in a tight spot where you're like behind cover, but you're surrounded. A secondary can be great. So like if you have an M1911, an M45A1, a Tech 9, or a Glock 18, they're gonna help you. Like guns like those are really good. Like it's much better than just reloading your gun because the pistol will come in a really handy situation. So there are 4 basic categories for pistols. They're the just pistol category, revolver, machine pistol, and other. Pistol category is just your default sidearm. They usually have low ammo capacity, but normally if you have a nice trigger finger, you can just spam it. So that's pretty nice. And it's got some pretty good like accuracy stat. It's not like anything special, but it's pretty good. They usually have a pretty high damage output, but at range it's pretty garbage, so that's why they're normally for close range. Now moving on to revolver section, they have like pretty low ammo capacity, pretty high recoil. That's if you like spam it, of course, but like at tapping, it's moderate. Though they have great accuracy though, and some pretty good penetration. And the damage is pretty good depending on what revolver you use, and it's very ideal in some situations. Like if an enemy's pushing you at full HP, like that's pretty good. You just unload your revolver into him, he's dead. Next is machine pistol. It's ideal for rushing classes if you have something like a TAR-21, which is like a very fast AR. They're really good. And if you have something like a sniper, maybe a Tech 9's for you. It might be pretty useful if someone's rushing you and you miss your no-scope, or you're just not good at no-scoping for some reason. Like just attach a laser, it's not hard. Okay, I'm kidding. But like, good weapons for machine pistols are like the Tech 9, Glock 18, even the Micro Uzi. Every single machine pistol is really good. They usually have a high like fire rate, like super high, though pretty low damage, and the accuracy is and a lot of recoil. But in general, you probably should use them. They're really nice. And now for the other section. It's literally just shotguns and 2 other non-shotguns. I'm serious. You can have shotguns as your secondary, but they're weaker. So if you play Phantom Forces a lot, you know that you can use a sniper or a shotgun as a sniper. Yes, I'm serious. Like, you can cross-map someone with a shotgun. It is doable. And it's pretty high chance of you doing it, to be perfectly honest with you. But basically, these ones aren't snipers. So if you have, there's like multiple shotguns in there. I can't really name them all to you because I don't remember them, but one I can say is the Serbu Shorty. Personally, I use it for one of my loadouts. Sometimes I interchange with the M45A1, but the Serbu Shorty is just a good weapon. It's not overpowered because it only carries 3 rounds, Well, that's if you put another one in, but no, you start with 2, but if you press R, reload, you can put another one in. And anything further than like sawed off distance in CSGO, which is like 5 meters, you're gonna hit someone for like 50. So, and also you can't really skim the guy and get the kill like other shotguns. You need your crosshair perfectly in the center of him. So they're pretty skillful shotguns. I wouldn't get mad if you use them. But there are some things like the OBRES and the SFG. The SFG is just a BFG. If you don't know what the BFG is, like you haven't been playing Phantom Forces, I don't know, man. But the BFG is literally just a tube. That's a sniper that carries 50 cal ammunition. Though it carries 1 round and you shoot, reload, and it always one-shots. I hate when people use it because it's annoying. The SFG is just a miniature version of it that is slightly worse, and you have more chance of getting a hit marker at a leg shot. But I mean, in general, SFG is actually a pretty good weapon. Like, I wouldn't get mad if you used it. And there's the OBRES, which is just a short Mosin Nagant. I'm not lying to you, it's a short Mosin. It's a shortened Mosin. It's got really weird randomness to the aim, but it's not bad. Next on is moving to gun choice. So, I know I talked about guns, right? But now I'm talking about the choice to it. So, don't use a gun that has no skill inquired to it. For example, don't use something like the Colt LMG. It has no recoil, it's super easy to control, you don't need any attachments to make it good, and it's got everything fine. From experience, personally me and my 2 other friends, Presscat and Rooster, which helped me make some of these tips, it just doesn't help you to get better and genuinely just makes the game boring because it's just way too easy. Try guns like the FAL 50 or Air Intervention. Both of those guns have really good stats and are really fun to use, though they have a challenge to them. For example, the FAL 50 has a lot of recoil, but high damage and a good accuracy stat, while snipers like the Intervention train your aim, have a nice damage stat, though they don't always one-shot. Quick little tip for snipers, not all snipers one-shot, so you will need to go for headshots. And also, headshots train your flicks, your aim, and it gives you more XP. And also, headshots are just satisfying to get. Now, moving on to attachment choice. So, this is something that kind of pisses me off. It's not because someone kills me with these attachments, it's because what I see on these attachments. I will literally see, like, a Malcolm ×3. If you don't know what that is, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's just a ×3 scope that's shaped like a tube, and then they will have like an R2 suppressor with like a chainsaw grip, and then they'll have like a freaking tri-laser or something, and like in general it's just a horrible build, you know, because they don't know what they're doing. So here, this is to help you newbies that don't know how to use it, attachments at all. Okay, like I swear to God, I could like get an attachment and you can unlock it called, oh, this attachment kills you. And I swear all the newbies will just go to it and equip it because it's a new attachment. So just don't be stupid. Check what the attachment does to your stats. So some examples of like stats that they can change are like recoil control, hip accuracy, aim accuracy, damage, range, and penetration power. So usually things like suppressors only increase your hip accuracy, and they really don't do much more than that. They just increase your hip accuracy, lower your damage range, and sometimes decrease your freaking armor penetration stat. And really, there's only one good suppressor you should use, and that is the muffler, because it increases your accuracy while reducing recoil, though it lowers your fire rate. But if you're using something like a shotgun, a muffler is a really good choice. So yeah, muffler is a pretty good silencer you should be using. But in general, you probably shouldn't be using muffler, as there are way more barrel attachments that you should be using. So there are a couple attachment tips that I can give you personally, because most grips and stuff like that are subjective, because different guns do better on different grips. I don't know why it works like that. I don't know why they don't have one consistent grip better at doing something than the other. So there are pretty much only 5 good grips: stubby grip, pistol grip, potato grip, skeleton grip, and vertical grip, the first one you get. Vertical grip, it's the first one you get. It's better than all the other ones you get until you get to the potato or pistol or stubby. The only reason skeleton's up here is if you have something like a sniper, something that scopes in like horribly slow, that's when you use it, because skeleton grip increases ADS speed. You shouldn't be using it if it's like a gun that like has horrible recoil control, because the vertical grip has better recoil control than the skeleton grip. So that's the only reason the skeleton grip's up here. So just use vertical grip until you get potato. Potato is very good grip. I can't tell you what it does specifically. It just lowers your recoil, But on some guns, different grips are better. For some reason, sometimes like you can put a potato grip on a TAR 21, it will be horrible, and then put a pistol grip on and be like, damn, this is nice. And then for example, on something like the M3A1, you might put a potato grip on and be like, damn, this is good. When they have a pistol grip on and be like, it's not that great. For some reason, they just change every time you put it on a different weapon. I don't know why, but that's it. So barrel attachments are really useful, and there are many you should use. The really only 3 that you should use are the compensator, muzzle brake, muzzle booster, and muffler, as I said before. But muffler is really subjective. Probably shouldn't be using it unless you have a shotgun or something like that, or a sniper. But compensator basically reduces horizontal recoil, which means side to side, so like left to right recoil. And muzzle brake reduces vertical recoil, which is up and down. And then you have something like the muzzle booster, which increases your fire rate by 8%, which is very useful for slower fire rate weapons like the AK-74, M3A1, L2A3, or the AK-47 even. Though the AK-47 has a lot of recoil, I don't think you want to use a muzzle booster. It increases your speed, but also increases your recoil substantially, so you don't want to use it if a gun has a lot of recoil. And also for sights, they're mostly personal preference. Some people might even like putting a VCOG times 6 on an HK416 and do good with it. If you somehow are good with that, I don't know what to tell you. You're just God. But if you don't know what grip or what sight to use, then a couple of good options are the Coyote sight, the Cobra, the Pilot 3, DDHB reflex, Barsky Electro, reflex sight, and Delta sight. Delta sight is one of the first ones you get, and for being one of the first ones, it's not that bad. Also, Z point's actually not terribly bad. It's really just like a red dot, but shaped weirdly. Yeah, that's all I got for attachments. Next is moving on to playstyle. This one is something that I see a lot of weird things doing. So it's like I see a guy with a semi-auto weapon and he's rushing groups of like 9 of us just like rushing him, and he's like, why am I dying? Well, first off, you have a semi-auto weapon, which maybe isn't the best choice when you're going against 9 people with full auto rifles, right? And semi-autos are meant for range and picking people off, not for rushing in. So if you have something like a semi-auto, maybe play back and tap people out and then move forward slowly and slowly. Because different guns are better at different things. For example, SMGs are great at rushing. And if you're going to like grab an MP5K, which is an SMG, and spray someone from 95 kilometers away, obviously you're not going to do well because it's an SMG. It does no damage at range. Its point is to rush in and be as close as possible. Something that might be good at that is like a sniper, or DMR, or maybe even a carbine, or an assault rifle too. Guns like that are what you should be using at range. But normally, it's pretty much personal preference. Some people might even use a semi-auto and be god at rushing in. And if you're that, go right for it. Playstyle is all personal preference. I can't tell you what to do. Because there are some people that might even use a sniper and don't use the scope. They might cross-map people with no scopes because they don't like using the scope, and they might be good with it. But if you're trying something like rushing or like long-ranging with this SMG and you're bad at it, well, yeah, it's because SMGs aren't made for range. You probably shouldn't be using it. I don't think there's a singular person that can use an SMG at range and beat a sniper. So you just try different weapons, try different playstyles, and see how it goes. Go from playing more passive to more aggressive. Next is sensitivity. Yep, I know, you saw this coming. Sensitivity is still very important though. If you have bad sensitivity that's like too slow or too high, you might not even be able to properly aim, flick, snipe, or anything like that. So like, have a consistent sensitivity throughout your games, because your muscle memory might mess up even if you have like a game with like 900,000 sensitivity where you're flicking everywhere, and you have another FPS game where it's like 2 where you're like moving your mouse across your mouse pad and moving like 2 centimeters. So try keeping a consistent mouse pad speed and mouse sensitivity. So I can't really teach you sensitivity. It's all personal preference once again. I can't tell you my sensitivity because it's not how it works. Though a good thing would be checking around people's sensitivity, so like get a little balance. So if someone uses a sensitivity of let's say 2 and then others are using like 1.7 or something, try going in a middle ground between that. Or maybe you can be unique, and maybe if that's way too slow for you, go for like a 3 sensitivity or something. It's all personal preference. Just try not to use it too high or too slow. Next is a config. Yeah, in this game you can make a config. Though it's not as intuitive and advanced like CSGO or anything like that, you can disable and enable things, just like the ammo counter, the HUD, the kill feed, and that stuff. You can also turn up your FOV. For example, some people will just be getting shot and they're like, where am I getting shot at? Maybe your FOV is too low. You can't see where you're getting shot at. That makes sense. FOV, increase it all the way to 105, which I think is max, and then you'll see the entire goddamn world, dude. And all this is located just in the settings tab of Phantom Forces. So it's very easy to find. You just load in, you'll see settings, press it, and then look through the settings, do what you want. Next is very simple one. Just play the game more. This one's very important because I see someone just like die twice and then they rage and leave. Well, I mean, that doesn't teach you to get better. Like, if you die, think why you died, think what you did wrong, and try better next time. Like, also, don't just stick onto Phantom Forces 10 hours a day. Go outside, take breaks if you're doing bad. I don't know. I mean, this sounds a bit try-hard, but I mean, you probably still should be taking breaks and thinking why you died in any game. I mean, personally, that's what I do, but it's a really good idea to do. Think why you died, and just take breaks in between, and it usually refreshes your mind and stuff. Now, we're going to be going back over grips and ammo choice once again. Well, we didn't talk about ammo choice, but reason we're talking about this is because pretty much they need their own section. So, going back to the skeleton, stubby, and standard foregrip and such, the best grips are the stubby, pistol, and potato. Like, they're the best. You should take those over the standard foregrip and the skeleton. Skeleton, as I said, is only for ADS speed. And standard foregrip is just because it's the first grip you get, and it's better. It's the best grip until you get the potato. And pretty much they each have different stat boosts, as I talked before. So some guns might be better with the potato grip, some might be better with a stubby grip. So you have to experiment around with that. And just if you're using a sniper, please to God, don't skip over the skeleton grip. This is the best tip I can give you for a sniper. Have a laser and a skeleton grip. What those will do: laser tightens your hipfire recoil, or hipfire spread, which means you'll be no-scoping way easier. And also the skeleton grip increases ADS speed. So if you have something like the AWM, which already scopes in pretty fast, add a skeleton grip, you'll be going 45 times faster. So don't skip over the skeleton grip, please. Next, we're going to be talking about ammo types. So you might be like, what? Ammo? That's a thing? Those are like 3,000 kills to get one. Yeah, they are. So, there's the 223 Remington, hollow point, the plus P, and armor piercing. And the rest ammo conversions are just horrible. There's maybe like a couple that I'm missing. For like the Uzi, there's like one that's good. And then for like the M1911, there's like the 50 caliber conversion, which honestly isn't that bad. But really, those are the 5 main ones you're going to be seeing on every gun. So, or 4, yeah. So basically, the armor piercing is just armor piercing. Yeah, you just penetrate walls better. That's it. And then you have super armor piercing, which is just the same thing. You pierce armor better, more wall penetration. But it comes with the disadvantage of giving you less range. Not less damage, but just less damage range. So your gun will do less damage at range, though your damage stat doesn't decrease, if that makes sense. Also, there's more suppression. Suppression is just the screen shake when someone shoots at you. If you don't know what that is, then I don't know, man. But next is hollow point. Hollow point just gives you more damage, but reduces range and armor piercing power. So less wall penetration, less range, but more damage. And there is also plus P. Plus P is literally just gives you a bunch of recoil, right? But it makes your bullets have more speed to it. So this game isn't hit scan. Hit scan is when you aim at someone and you shoot, instantly hits them. In this game, it's not hit scan, so the bullet needs to travel, then it hits the person. Plus P makes your bullet travel faster, increase more range, and gives slightly more penetration power, though your recoil just blasts up. And then going to 250 Remington, really don't use this one, it's absolutely pointless. Like, it reduces your damage and reduces recoil, and it's just very boring and useless. Like, unless you're that much of a pussy that you can't control recoil, then go ahead, go use it. But I'm telling you, don't use it. It's absolutely terrible. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If it did help you, please leave a like. And if you even got something out of this and you didn't even play Phantom Forces and you got it for another game, great. Thank you for watching still. But also, if you have any questions about this or any other questions, you can just put it in the comment section below. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. See you. Bye.